Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you a little custom I'm working on. I found some inspiration from a customizer on Facebook and thought that I would copy it for the most part, then add my own little flair and details to it. So I'm taking a gray beast from the retro carded X-Men line, and I've added the Rintrah head from the Doctor Strange Build-A-Figure line. Then I took the beast feet off and attached the Rintrah hooves and cankles, to make him look very goat-like, beast-like, demon-y. And essentially I'm going to be making a three-piece demon where, like, this is the midpoint. I have a Mephisto in works, and then I have a very large Build-A-Figure that's kind of like a small humanoid size, a larger muscular, and then like an oversized, very large beast of a demon, devil. Just something original, something different. But I dyed this in RIT synthetic dye, red dye. You can tell that some of the pieces take better to the dye than the others. The extremities, the hair, stays kind of gray. The body stays kind of gray. The leg takes really well. I feel like the Rintrah leg and the beast calf and thigh took the same, similarly. And then I've already kind of pre-painted the horns from the Rintrah head. So pretty happy with this so far, just with the dye. I'm going to throw a little blackwash on it. And I'm going to try and bring out some of the hair, some of the definition between the red and the black once it gets applied. So I don't want to do like a full paint. I just want to gloss over and then dry it off fairly quickly, similar to what I did with a Marvel Legends Thing blackwash. So I've already got my paint. I've got it thinned out. I use just a little old glass. If you hit it against the side and it drips down, it's too thin, for my liking at least. Got my paper towels ready to go. It's a very messy project, so gloves for the day. So I'm just gonna start wiping it on sections at a time. Allow it to dry for a few seconds. You can get as crazy as you want with this. And it might be better to have it even thinner than normal, since you're going to eventually wipe it away anyway. And it's going to darken up the tone quite a bit, but that's okay. So it's going to leave those extreme hair pieces kind of black, or make them black, I should say, and then leave kind of a red undertone to the rest of the body. So you can already tell it's, darker, which is what I want, especially with these light gray areas. I don't want it to stay gray. I want a really ugly red and black demon. And I will probably only need to do this wash once before I achieve the color and look that I want. And if I don't, I'll go back over it. And if it's too dark, I'll take a little bit of alcohol, put it on a paper towel. I can then scrub it off, and I'll pull up some of that paint with the alcohol. When you dye a figure, you do run the potential of damaging the figure if it's too hot. They can warp. They can burn just from the temperature of, sitting on the bottom of the pan. I had that done once where I had a little bit of a burn on Magneto cape that I did a dye on, but it was on the back side, so it doesn't really matter. So far, a lot of darker tones. Still got a little bit of red. Maybe not as much as I was thinking, but this still is going to have to dry overnight, and then we'll see what the color pulls through. As I've mentioned before in some other videos, the dyed figures do have a hard time, in most cases, kind of accepting the paint. I think a little bit more of the darkness on the hair and a little bit lighter red maybe on like the hands and some of the extremities. And this is just my first go, so we'll see if it needs anything more after my first coat. So I'm fairly new to customizing. I'd say less than a year maybe, give or take. I start off small with just kit bashes. And kit bashing blew my mind. Oh, it was so cool. Just different heads and arms and create this person and that person, and then, man, I got bit by the bug. And I just started venturing out, started very small with some painting, did a lot of research on YouTube, took a lot of inspiration from other people. It might be my favorite part of collecting and customizing is the culture of fairly good acceptance across social media. A lot of positive feedback, a lot of really cool people out there, a lot of really talented artists out there. You got some haters, you got some newbies trying. I mean, they were all new at one point. There's some people I follow that, I mean, if they're not an artist and not getting paid for what they're doing, they are missing an opportunity. For me, this is purely fun in my free time, which I feel like is less and less the older I get. So I kind of have to jump on these opportunities when I can and go full steam ahead. When I dyed this in red dye, I forgot the extra pair of hands. So I only have the one pair of hands dyed, but that's okay. I can always go back and re-dye the other pair if I'm ever doing anything else in a red color. And kind of keep that palm a little bit lighter. I really like how it's already got a little bit of a gradual coloration from the black on the wrists to the, the fingers and the palm being more red. I'm not sure if that's coming through in the video or not. Some of these crevices can get kind of gunked up with the paint, especially with like butterfly joints, elbows, knees. So I would suggest you thin the paint down, make sure that it doesn't dry up in between the joints. And just know that whenever your figure dries, it's going to have a different color and texture the very next day. I've seen some customizers cure their figures. I have yet to do that, whether it sits underneath sun or in a curing box under light. I just haven't done the research for that. I am very impatient. And I just paint it, let it dry, and throw on an acrylic sealer. So as you can tell, I've got a lot more darkness, a lot more bright red down here in the legs still. And that's the kind of look I was going for, was a little bit of red undertone, that skin, whereas almost like the skin is red and the fur is black. We can kind of still see the two different colors. And then we'll see what that finally works out to be tomorrow. If you want a certain area to stay darker, you can just let that paint dry a little bit longer. Or just don't dab as much off. So you can see how from the beginning of the video how much that red matched the rest of it and how much that black has changed it, but still allowing some small little bit of red to kind of seep through. I didn't want it to be bright red. But the good thing is I can go back through with any red highlights, any other colors I want. And I'm about out of paint, so I'm going to save the face for another day. But there's that guy. Let me know what you think.